Welcome back, guys. In this tutorial we're going to continue with the GUI stuff, but we're going to mainly talk about the tooltip and mouse and keyboard events for the controls. What your tooltip does, come down here to toolbox, displays information when the user moves the pointer over an associated control. So we're going to add a tooltip for our text box. What you'll do is you'll add the tooltip to your page right here. We'll rename it, let's take the 1 off. And now we could go to our text box and you'll see tooltip on tooltip. This will not show up unless you add the tooltip from the control panel over here. So let's go back to our button. Oh, I added a second one. We'll just delete that. Alright. And for our text box, we'll just say, please enter a number. Not that they don't already know that. Now let's go check out what this does. Over our submit button, you don't see nothing. We hover our text box, please enter a number. You may have seen this before on some other programs or websites. It's a pretty nifty tool to have. The next thing we're going to talk about events. So let's go to our button. And over here you see we got alphabetical order, properties. We're going to alphabetical order, events. And this is where you have all the events for your controls. Like text change, which, I mean, your text isn't going to change on your button unless you force it to. So you probably won't use that often. Mouse click. This is probably a big one. So whenever the mouse is clicked on the button, whatever code we put in here will run. Same thing with key press, key down, key up. Anytime a key is pushed down, we'll have some kind of code execute. So, just for an example of this, we'll look at our submit button. And by default, when you click on your button, C# creates the click event handler. So, button.click. What do we want to do? We'll go textbox1 dot text equals 5. So let's see what this does. When we click on our button, see 5 shows up here. And every single one of these controls has these events. You can click on the label, you can click on a radio button. I mean, if you wanted to, you could actually use a label as a button. Label 1 click. And what we'll do here is we'll take Listbox 1 dot So when we click on our label, it's going to add the text from our text box into our list box. So let's try this out. Let's do our button first because it'll give us a number into our text box. And now let's click on our label. As you see, it's now added to our list box. And you can do that with many different things. Double click, mouse down, mouse hover. I mean, any of these events can trigger any code that you want, which can be very, very useful. That's all I have to talk about on tooltip and processes. We'll talk to you in the next tutorial covering strings.